Y'all ready to drink? Y'all ready to sweat till y'all stink? This ain't no house party. It's the grand opening of our new joint. It's gonna be a real ring-a-dang-dang.
Whenever I'm writing a script, I've learned to really think about the midpoint. The midpoint should be the changing of the guard, where the audience is directed away from the movie that they thought they were watching to the movie that they're actually watching. And that, for me, is always like a really exciting challenge. I found myself at a point where I got to know these characters really well. You know, I kind of have fallen in love with them, and I knew that a tragic fate was about to befall all of them. If your movie's a tragedy, the midpoint should be kind of a high point. So I had this idea of, you know, wouldn't it be great for this moment where this music is so good and the party is at a high level? What if we kind of punch a hole in time and they can close their eyes and party, you know, next to the people that would be affected by this music? That was, you know, how the idea was born. And once I kind of had that thought, I got really excited.
I've been hearing about this one particular young man all day. He's supposed to be a bad blues man. Preacher boy, where you at? Come on here, man.
I think people know because it's a Ryan Coogler movie, they're gonna get characters that they're gonna root for and feel really emotional about, and moments that just break the rules. And one of those moments is what we call the surreal montage. This is a centerpiece of the movie where Sammy Moore performs this beautiful song in a single uncut oneer, as Ryan always has in his movies, and something happens on screen that you just can't explain.
I came from a place of contemplation and reflecting on, you know, my relationship with my uncle, James. He introduced me to blues music. I'll find myself listening to that music that he loved so much. I almost kind of conjure his memory, conjure his spirit. You know, that was the baseline of the movie there.
Ryan understands the responsibility he has as a filmmaker. He dives into research before he even puts pen to paper. It's a testament to the care he has for the characters that he creates.
I kind of treated it as if it was the last movie I'll ever get to make. I think what made me want to focus on this era particularly was it's such a distinct era of blues music. And blues music has a very important relationship with global pop culture, with American pop culture, and with black culture.
My little cousin, y'all. Watch this.
The surreal montage represents like the ultimate connection between artist and audience. You know, it becomes like a circular thing where energy is being passed through and given back. I love that idea of something happening that's bigger than just the people that are here in the present.
When I read the surreal montage, like you knew on the page that was gonna be one of the scenes that people were gonna walk away talking about.
The surreal montage, I think, is very much Ryan. When you read something like that, it just jumps off the page as being very him because it has so much meaning, and the way in which you wanted to execute it, it's so unique.
This is one of those scenes that shows the power of music and the legacy of music, past, present, and future. And I've never seen the story of music be told with such spectacle, but also the personal experience of Sammy who's playing and singing. It transcends space and time, the way that music can transport you.
Ryan expressed it to me as the most important part of the film. It meant a lot for him to execute that scene exactly how he envisioned it on the page. You know, honoring the blues, acknowledging it as the genre that unlocked so many different genres and how much it's meant to music in general.
Ryan is using this particular genre in order to tell a much deeper story about community, about Black community, and about our humanity.
Hold on. Tell me who you are. Where you from?
I'm Sammy Moore. I'm a sharecropper from Sunflower Plantation. They call me Preacher Boy, counting my daddy being a pastor. I wrote this song for him.
We had to have a song that would be ready by the time we're shooting. Usually Ludwig is writing these songs after the movie's been shot. So he's working around the clock with Serena to get the song just right.
When I read the script, that was the scene to me that was really an experience in itself. When I read it on paper, I got chills because it was so beautiful.
We have all this original music. We got a lot of great stuff we're really excited about. I know it's been a lot. Y'all kind of...
The music in this movie is so out of this world. I think back to our table read, actually, when we were reading through the script and then Ludwig would play the music as the music would pop up throughout. He would give these very brief descriptions of what they were or how they might change or what they were, meant to be. And it's so cool when you get to watch somebody, again, their thought process, and you get to be a part of seeing that sort of brought to life.
And the next song is Miles' Hero Moment. This song is kind of the basic idea for the whole montage. We haven't really finished all that progress of how the music is gonna shapeshift, but this is the song.
So they started out with just Ryan describing what the music styles he was looking for, and we made a montage of just songs that he likes to kind of get a sense of what would be the structure of this piece.
I Lied to You. It's such a special song. When it came time for a writer, I thought about Raphael Sadiq, who's also from Oakland, one of the best songwriters alive.
Well, I was just a boy.
I called him over the phone and kind of run him through the whole plot and why I would want to work with him. He says, y'all been wanting to make a blues song my whole life. I kind of always had these lyrics, in my head. And he and Ludwig, made the song, man.
And while we were recording that song, I immediately knew that it was one of a kind. And I sent that to Ryan, and he was like, yeah, this will be perfect as the skeleton for the montage.
And then once Miles got a chance to sing it, with that voice, it was like, yo, this is perfect. And it feels like such a full circle moment.
See, I love you, Papa. You did all you could do. And they say the truth hurts, so I lied to you. Yes, I lied to you. I love the blues.
So we had that piece very early on. And then we just had to figure out how we're gonna pull all these different styles of music together and how we're gonna make it an emotional journey.
Hey, somebody take me in your arms tonight. Well, all right.
Working with Ryan is always a treat. The first thing I did was start drawing sort of the layout of it based on all the needs in the script. I knew I needed a back room, I needed a gambling area, I needed a kitchen area, I needed a stage. Ryan kind of really started thinking about what the blocking wanted to be. And so all of these things are very important to the layout of it. And then he'll tell me about the themes that he wants to hit on in the scene. And then I kind of match that with design and color, and everything that he says, I'm finding the interpretation within the design of that.
As we come together, the production designer, the cinematographer, the director, the costume designer, it's a conversation. It's like a ball of fire that swirls around the room, and we can actually story that.
Blues wasn't forced on us like that religion. Nah, sir. We brought this with us from home. It's magic what we do. It's sacred. It's big.
In midpoints in my films, I do try to do unbroken takes. It kind of started with Fruitville. Whenever you can pull off those, we call them oneers, you really get the audience to lean forward.
Oneers is so dynamic, and they allow the audience to be in that moment.
It's a very maximalist movie. When I start talking about large format, whether that is Ultra Panavision 276 or even IMAX 15 perf 65mm photography, that is reserved for epic storytelling. You're seeing something big and substantial and important.
Ryan had already made some boards that kind of visualize what he thought he wanted to execute. So we had kind of a framework to work with.
Ryan said to Autumn, he's like, I want a lot of obstructions. I want there to be a lot of verticals in this space. So my interpretation of it was obstructions within the frame, but not necessarily in front of people. So it's very about the logistics at that point.
With a sequence like this, you need a lot of moments to be seen, but you also don't want to make it feel like it's forced. And that's kind of the beauty of what that sequence is it does feel like it flows very nicely and it's appropriately going from one move to the next.
Somebody take me. Somebody take me in your arms tonight.
That whole sequence in the interior was shot in one day.
It was genuinely one of the hardest producing challenges I've ever had. We needed to shoot a oneer while we were shooting IMAX, and IMAX film is so thick that it can't fit into a reel more than a minute or two of time. To solve that, we had to find ways to cleverly hide cuts. Camera would move past the wall, we would cut there for momentarily.
And I had a wonderful, wonderful Steadicam operator that's very talented and did a fantastic job. And that's also something that you have to consider because not many people use this format and not many people have used it on a Steadicam. He did a brilliant job to make it feel fluid and to hide those seams. There are 3 in the sequence inside the interior of the mill.
You know, the dance of the Steadicam coming through on the big IMAX camera. The fun of Warner's is everything kind of has to be right on time for it to really work the way it needs to. Okay, when you pass through here, you step over here. Okay, you feel that space in. You're trying to just solve the puzzle. It was fun to make these slight adjustments until you got it. And when it got it, it's one of the best feelings you can have.
Then we'll reveal our DJ. Camera's gonna come down to here for a scratch, he'll scratch, and the music will change. We'll spin around, come back, and then we cut. That's our first piece, okay?
We designed a really fluid and interesting camera move that takes you through the different times and the different characters, and also makes you explore the world inside of the mill.
There's so much emotion and there's so much on the page there, but at the end of the day, when you're there executing it, it's about making sure that everything's right technically, and you have to have that mindset all the time, you know?
The scene calls for extras who will be dressed in costumes spanning centuries of time. The scene calls for choreography, that everyone's got to hit their marks just right. And we would spend our weekends, we would actually come together, everyone's wearing their sweats and gym clothes, and we would just go over and over through the scene, and someone is keeping clock, and it almost became like a choreographed dance.
I think until you shoot something like that, you don't know how it's going to cut together. One little beat that's off could throw the whole sequence off.
It was a pulling out by 2 hands, rotating around. As you all come out and we pan, that's when we see the spirits that are there behind you. So you kind of introduce us to your ancestors. The surreal montage is the window that allowed for me to bring in so many different generations and eras and cultures of dance. There's a reason why there are dancers from 2010, from the 90s, from the Peking Theater. You know, it's not just someone trying to find a reason for it. You know, the reason asks for those people to be involved.
Background casting, just absolutely killed it. A lot of these ancestors, as we would call them, they had to have, specific faces, like our Zouili dancer in Memphis Juker. We had to have those dancers side by side. We all kind of knew we would be walking a razor blade, because if something wasn't right, we could lose the audience, and everybody came to play.
Everyone was completely excited to show our stuff, I've heard Ryan say, make your mark on this film. And here is an opportunity to make your mark. There's all of these aspects. How do we make the metaphors? How do we understand the metaphors? What you'll see is the spirits. You see a djembe player, the Monkey King, a griot, a ballerina, and you understand this person is representing dance and music and movement, and it's a beautiful thing.
Asia was like this, right?
Yeah, she said 4 feet.
Okay.
We went to an empty soundstage and marked out the mill on the floor with tape. And then we had people playing some of the different characters. That's when I truly understood, oh, okay, this is how it all comes together.
There's no beam here. I'm talking about this one. Yeah. So that one was there.
We have, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan wanted to start on Sammy's close-up, and that would be the point at which we would transition from our regular 276 into the IMAX. And then you know that the whole song plays and that there are all these beats to hit. So I drew kind of a flow of what I thought the camera should move from start to finish, because then he takes that and puts the lensing in, and we used a 50mm Panavision IMAX lens, and he imports it into the Previs, and he creates kind of a flow of what that should look like.
It was a sequence for which we created a visualization prior to rehearsals with all of the dancers, with all of the ancestors, with all of the principal performers who were involved with that scene. So we knew from Ludwig's music how long the scene had to be. We knew the points at which we were going to stitch elements of that 3.5-minute sequence together. And all of that visualization helped inform the rehearsal. From that rehearsal, we were able to plan the shoot and the production, and visual effects were then able to stitch the entire sequence together so it appears completely seamless.
One of the things that we had talked about in the early phases of the pre-production, pretty much everybody is musically capable in some capacity. So with that, it opens us up to being able to actually capture the musical performances on set. We're actually doing a lot to take those pre-recorded songs that Ludwig composed, and we're actually recording a lot of that material live. So it adds a realness to the performances. Hopefully you feel a little bit more immersed and get lost in the story.
It was a different experience coming closer to the film, coming closer to the story, really getting in there in comfortable and uncomfortable ways, living and breathing it in a way that I haven't experienced before. How much music's in the film and how much music is on screen and performed on screen.
Somebody take me into arms tonight.
I've never had an opportunity to have 98% finished songs as we're filming. You know, so the fact that I knew that this is a song that's gonna go on over here in this moment. Okay, when I'm doing X, Y, and Z, this is what we're gonna be listening to, and really being in the moment. I think that helped out tremendously, and I want people to feel that in their bones too.
It was like rehearsing a play. You know, we just did it over and over again. Just seeing the breadth of it, the stories that were being told, the music that was being played, the reverence of the ancestors and our culture. It just blew my mind.
When we would nail segments of that shot, our whole room would, burst out into applause, man. It was an exceptional experience.
That was a really special moment for me because the whole cast was there and they were all kind of supporting me in that moment and giving me the energy that I needed to perform at my best.
The reactions from the cast is real. That's the power of live music. And you can feel it. That's something that's going to transcend to the audience too.
It was a great achievement that he was able to pull off. It was beautiful, man. It worked on so many levels. We really wrapped our arms around this. I'll forever be grateful for this movie.